You know, for any cross-country pilot, the real challenge is played in the space between the thermals. It's all about the glide. That long, quiet push to the next bit of lift, well, it can be the toughest part of a flight, and it's almost always filled with one critical, nagging question.
Oh yeah, we have all been there. You're high, you're on a great line, but that landing zone just looks so far away. You start doing that fuzzy mental math, second-guessing your every move, and that little seed of doubt starts to creep in. But what if? What if you could get a definite, solid answer right there on your screen?
And that is the big mindset shift we're talking about here. That little device on your flight deck, it's not just a passive screen showing you a bunch of data. No, it's an active flight director. Think of it as your co-pilot. It's designed to take all that guesswork out of the equation and give you clear, simple commands to fly smarter and safer.
So let's start with the most fundamental question of all. Forget about speed or efficiency for just a second. This is all about safety. Can your instrument tell you with certainty if you're actually going to make it to your goal? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes.
To get that answer, you've got to set up your screen to show these three numbers right next to each other. Your actual glide ratio, the glide ratio you need to get to your goal, and your ground speed. This little trio, this is your command center for every single glide you take.
So let's break down the relationship between these first two numbers. LD actual is your current performance. It's what's happening right now. How many feet forward for every foot you drop? LD required, on the other hand, is the target. It's the performance you need to hit to actually arrive at your destination.
The rule here couldn't be simpler. If the number on the left, your actual glide, is bigger than the number on the right, you can just relax. You're above the line, you're performing better than what's required, and you're going to get there with altitude in the bank. You're golden.
But if it's the other way around, well, your instrument is giving you a clear command. Hey, time to take action. Being below the line isn't a reason to panic, not at all. It's just a signal from your co-pilot that you need to find some lift, improve your glide, or maybe start thinking about a closer landing option. So how do we improve that glide?
All right, so how do we improve our glide, especially when we're up against the #1 glide killer, a headwind? You feel the air get a little rough, the wing slows down. But by how much? Your GPS ground speed gives you the exact answer and tells you precisely when and how much speed bar you need to use.
Okay, check this out. Here's a beautifully simple rule of thumb that just takes all the guesswork out of flying into wind. It's called the half-wind rule. To get your best possible glide performance, you just need to add about half of the headwind's speed to your own airspeed. Let me show you how it works.
So imagine this. You're just cruising along, feeling good, flying at your trim speed of, say, 38 kilometers per hour. Everything's great. Then you happen to glance down at your instrument.
And bam! You see this. Your ground speed has tanked, all the way down to 20. Your co-pilot, the GPS, is screaming at you that you just flew into a pretty serious headwind. Okay, time for some quick math.
The calculation here is actually super simple. Your airspeed is 38, but your ground speed is only 20. So that means you've got an 18 kilometer per hour headwind, right? Half of that is 9. You just add that 9 to your original trim speed, and you get your new target airspeed, 47 kilometers per hour.
Now this is the crucial part. This isn't just a friendly suggestion from your instrument. It's a command. Push that speed bar until your airspeed indicator reads 47. You are now punching through that headwind at your most efficient speed, spending way less time fighting it, and I can pretty much guarantee your LND actual is going to improve.
Okay, so the GPS is great for headwinds and safety. Got it. But what about just pure cross-country speed, getting from A to B as fast as possible? Well, this is where your variometer becomes a command setter for efficiency, helping you decide exactly how fast to fly between thermals. We do this with something called the McCready setting, or MC. The easiest way to think about it is you're basically telling your co-pilot how good you think the day is. You're setting your expectation for how strong that next thermal's gonna be.
So, for example, setting your MC to 0 is your play it safe mode. You're telling your instrument, my only goal is maximum glide. I want to arrive as high as I possibly can. But if you're pretty sure there's a nice fat 2 meter per second thermal waiting for you up ahead, you can set MC to 2.0. This gives a totally different command. Get me to that lift and get me there fast. Your Vario will then tell you to speed up because it knows it's actually faster overall to burn a little altitude to get to that strong climb more quickly.
Now here's a super cool trick you can do. Even without a fancy GPS, just using your Vario's audio. Go into your settings and set a really strong sync alarm, say for anything worse than -2.5 meters per second.
The second that alarm starts screaming at you, that's your command to push the bar. Don't even think about it, just do it. The goal is to punch through that nasty sinking air as fast as you can. As soon as the alarm quiets down, you can ease off the bar. Simple as that.
So, we've covered safety, we've talked about headwinds, and we've touched on efficiency. So how do we wrap all of this up into a simple, repeatable process you can use on every single glide? Well, this is what we'll call your DASH workflow.
Okay, picture this. You just topped out a thermal. You're pointing toward your goal. Here's your mental checklist. First, look at LD required. Is it a crazy high number? If so, you're in trouble. Find lift or a new LZ now. Next, glance at your ground speed. Is it super low? You're in a headwind. Get on the bar. Is your Vario screaming at you? You're in sync. Get on the bar. Or, is everything looking amazing? Is your LD actual sky high? Perfect. Relax, fly at trim, and just enjoy the free ride.
You see how this all comes back to that one core idea? Your instrument isn't some TV show you just passively watch. It's your co-pilot. It gives you data so you can give it commands through your MC setting, through your speed bar, to constantly optimize your flight. You are the pilot and you are in command.
So the next time you're on a long glide looking at that distant goal, you'll have the tools not just to wonder if you'll make it, but to actively command your wing and your instruments to make sure you do. It completely changes the game from one of hope to one of control. So really, the only question left is, where are you going to go?